Hello again and welcome back. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Today is Full Deck Challenge Day and it's ran by Shana from ShanoukiArt, and we are going on to card number 37 and the prompt today is coffee. So with the Full Deck Challenge you have to alter a playing card once a week, and Shana gives us a new prompt each week. And we have to carry something over from our previous week's card, and we have to use our constant, so something that we are going to be using for the whole year. We have to put it on the face of our card every week. So for me, my constant is paint swatches, and I use them in different ways each week. Most of the time I do die cutting. And for my carryover item this week, I have our card from last week, and we have Clara, who is our underground milliner. And you can see that there is a ticket here on this card. Well, I'm going to carry over a ticket onto this week's card. So let's get set up and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, I have prepped my card a little bit. And unfortunately, I stuck the back on the front of the card. Now, the front of the card was the 10 of diamonds. So I'm going to incorporate that in the design of the front of the card. You can see that I've stamped it, and it's got the 23rd of September on it. And it says Coffee Pass. It says it in another language. I'm not sure what language it is. But the Coffee Pass is my theme for today. So I'm going to be making a coffee card. I have stamped out the word card and a diamond on the face of some coffee stained pattern paper. Now the pattern paper I got off of Collage Soup, and it looks like coffee. I'll show you it. So there we go. I cut a piece of that off of it, and that's out of a digital from Collage Soup. And the name of the digital download from Collage Soup is called I Need a Drink. And that's where I've got quite a lot of this from today. Now, what I decided to do was I decided to make some coffee cards. Now, we've all probably had coffee cards. I don't use coffee cards anymore because we tend to make our coffee at home. However, I don't drink a lot of coffee. My husband drinks quite a lot of coffee. What I decided to do was I decided to make some coffee cards. I have made some other coffee cards, and I have made a coffee card pouch out of a coffee bag. Now I'll show you these later in the video when we're putting it all together, and I'll show you how I made the pouch out of the coffee bag. So that's part of the story as well. But let's get on to modifying this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp onto the face of this a few bits and pieces, and I'm going to put some numbers on it. But first of all, I'm going to put a line around it because I just think that it'll look good with a line around it. And you know how when you go to the coffee shop and you start to go to a particular coffee shop regularly, they give you a coffee card. Now, I'm not sure whether they still do that. When I used to work as a designer, I had coffee cards. Well, I went rummaging for them and I couldn't find any of them. I've probably thrown them all out. You get a coffee card, and every coffee shop does it differently. Some of them punch holes, and some of them stamp a smiley face, and some of them, stamp a coffee cup or punch a coffee cup. They do different things. So I thought to myself, I'm going to make a coffee card with numbers on it that you punch out. So let's do that. I'm going to put some numbers on here. There's number 1. And then I'm going to put some splodges on it because, like I said, some coffee shops, they give you a stamp when you buy a coffee. And then when you get to number 10, you get a free one, or you get something free. You might get a cake, or you might get a $5 discount off of your next purchase, or whatever. So most of the time you get a free coffee. You can see I'm stamping 1 to 9, and I'm going to put all of my coffee cards from all the different make-believe coffee shops that I don't go to into my coffee pouch that is made out of a coffee bag. Now, I don't really drink coffee very often. I have one occasionally. I went through a period where I was allergic to a lot of things. I still have a few allergies, but they're settled down. So I tend to drink decaf coffee. I'm not allergic to caffeine, but in the decaffeination process, it takes out the things that I are allergic to. Okay, so you can see that I have put number 10 down on the diamond so that it looks like the card is the 10 of diamonds. And number 10 will be our free coffee. So I have tea most of the time, but for those of you that are interested, that stamp was a simple story stamp. It's called Life Captured Days, and it's got days and numbers in it. So now I'm going to do some coffee circles on here, and it's called Latte Love, and it's a retired Stampin' Up! Stamp. I'm going to put some circles around. There we go. We've got a few coffee circles. So what I'm going to do now is I've pulled out that same stamp set from Stampin' Up! And they've got a splodge on it. I'm going to just splodge it over the number. So you see I've splodged over number 1. I think I'll splodge over number 2. Number 2, as if that's been used up. Number 3. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? Let's just go to 4. Yes, that looks great. Happy with that. Yes, so like I was saying, my husband, he drinks coffee every day. Before he goes to work, he makes himself a coffee, and we have a coffee machine. And some would say that he's a bit of a coffee snob. I don't know that he is. He just likes really nice coffee, to be honest. Fortunately, our son, our eldest son, he lives in Melbourne. Now, Melbourne's in a different state to us. We're in Brisbane, it's the capital city of Queensland, and Melbourne is the capital city of Victoria, a different state. For those of you that have been to Melbourne, Melbourne's a wonderful city, and it is renowned for its coffee culture. So my son has quite generously purchased my husband a coffee subscription. You can see that I've just inked the edges of our coffee card, and I have die cut out of a paint swatch the word coffee. I have a die that says coffee, and there it is. So there's my paint swatch. Yes, so he gets a different bag of coffee every month from different roasters all around the country, and he gets to try quite a lot of different flavored coffees. The smell of some of them is just delightful. I'll show you. So I get to keep all of his coffee information. So you can see that he gets, there's December, there's June, there's May, and I get to February. I get to keep the brochures, April, about the different roasters. And I also get to keep the coffee bags. And some of the coffee bags are so lovely in their designs. I decided that I should make something out of one of those bags and tap into that. Okay, so there we go. I have done the stamping, done our splodges on that we've used 1, 2, 3, 4 cups of coffee, and we've got to get to the 10 of diamonds before we get our free one. So he gets to have lovely coffee. When you have really nice coffee, then when you go and buy one and it costs $5 or $6, you kind of feel like you're getting a little bit ripped off, to be honest, because you sometimes get a bad coffee and you think, I could have had a better coffee at home. Now I'm going to put this ticket on because I need to carry something over. So I'm going to put the ticket on as if the ticket is 10 cents is your ticket to get your last one, and that would pay for the cup. So let's stick a hole in this and put a brad through it. The reason I'm putting a ticket on is because I have to carry something over from my last card, and I kind of thought the ticket was the most relevant thing. So we'll put a brad on. I'll press that down, and I might just put a little piece of masking tape over that. I love going to Melbourne. If you haven't been to Melbourne and you are thinking about coming to Australia, don't just visit Sydney and the Barrier Reef. Melbourne is a fabulous city, and so is Brisbane actually, but Brisbane's a bit of a gateway. You know, you sometimes end up going to Brisbane anyway because you're flying in so that you can get a connecting flight to go to Cairns, to go to the Great Barrier Reef. But I love Melbourne. Just the weather's a little bit unpredictable. They often say that Melbourne, you get 4 seasons in one day, no matter what time of the year it is. Well, I don't know that that's true, but it is a little bit up and down, the weather. It's quite cold in winter, and it can be very, very hot in summer. Have a heat wave down there, surprisingly. And in temperature, it actually can be hotter in temperature than Brisbane, but we're subtropical, so we get a lot of humidity, whereas they don't get any humidity down there, or very little. There we go. We might just ink those edges of that card. There we go. That looks fun, doesn't it? Our splodgy coffee card. We're working our way to our free one. Gotta love a free cup of coffee. All right, let me clear the decks and I'll show you all of the things that go in the pouch. Okay, so here's our card that we've just made. We've got our 4 coffees already used, and we're working our way to number 10 for our free one. The back of the card has the date stamped on it. It says Coffee Pass. And this is our 10-cent ticket to pay for our cup on our free one, so that you don't have to pay anything. Now, this is one of the cards I made, and I used some printouts from Collage Soup. And I think I mentioned to you it was called I Need a Drink, and you can see that this was the page that I used. I cut out some cards, and you can see that it's got a range of different coffee dyed pages as well. So I just print out the pages that I need. So this was one of them, and what I did was I just stamped all random numbers around the coffee cup, and I stamped free on this coffee cup, and I put some circles on it, and you can see that I have punched the ones that we're up to. So we've used up number 7, we need to buy number 8, we need to buy number 9, and we'll get our free coffee. And then on the back, this one says, today's plan, consume coffee, 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 coffee. So that's one of the cards. We'll put that there with that one. And then this one here, that was another printout. And you can see that I just have I've really just cut it out and stuck it on. I haven't done anything that fancy. And then I stamped 9 hearts down the side here. And you can see that some of them have been punched out. I'll put it on there so you can see. Some of them have been punched out, but some of them haven't. Once they're all punched out, and I think we've got 5 punched, so we've got to go another 4, and then we'll get this cup of coffee free. So that's that one. And our coffee pouch that I made, it's out of a coffee bag, and you see that you can hear it. See how it presses shut still, and it opens up. And there's the bottom of the bag, the coffee bag. I'll show you on this one what I did. So I just cut off the bottom of this bag here, but I didn't cut through the base of the bag. I just went up a tiny bit. I cut it about here so that I had that part of the bag. And then I cut it about 1/2 inch down from the zipper, the press zipper. And I just tapered this, so that got rid of that bit. And I'll show you. Here's my bag, so you can see that now it's a sleeve. And there's the bit that I cut off, and there's the vent. What I did then was I just mitered a little bit on this bit here and this bit here, and slid the base onto it so that it created a pouch. And you can see, you'll be able to see there, that's where the join is, just here. You can see there, that's where the join is. And then on the back, I just created a collage out of the letters to spell out coffee and stuck it on some cardstock. And I glued the bits together of the bag that I didn't need anymore, and then stuck that on the back to give it a little bit of stability. And then on the face, you can see that I have stamped card on some paint swatch. Actually, I tore up some paint swatch and stamped the word card, put some coffee rings on it, and die cut out the word coffee so that it's my coffee card pouch. So let's pop in our coffee cards, and they slide in fine. There's one, there's two, and our third one. And it's our little coffee pouch of our coffee cards. Isn't that wonderful? And some of you, your minds are ticking now. I can hear them tick, 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 ticking. For those of you that junk journal, you'll be thinking, coffee bags. Look what I can make some things out of coffee bags. You certainly can. And if I've inspired you to play with some coffee bags, that's wonderful. Go for it. Tag me in so I can see what you create. But I'm really happy with that. So let's add that to our family, our little coffee bag pouch with our 3 coffee cards in it. Add that on there. It's a bit bigger than everything else, but I'm okay about that. It doesn't all have to be the same size. There we go. There's our coffee pouch with our coffee cards in it. I'll pull this one out just so that you can see that that's the one we made together today. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. That'd be wonderful. And think about subscribing to the channel. And I hope you all have a fantastic week creating something new just like I have. And I will see you all very soon with another project. Bye for now.